Let's start with something that might surprise you. If you've been feeling a bit more sluggish, less motivated, or just a bit off as the days have got shorter over the last few months, there's actually a very good reason why. And it all starts with a tiny, tiny part of the brain that's about the size of a grain of rice. It's the brain's master clock, as it's often referred to. Deep inside your brain, you have what scientists call the suprachiasmatic nucleus. I can hardly say that one. Let's just call it the master clock. And this tiny cluster of cells, literally about the size of a grain of rice, control your entire daily rhythm. It's like having a sophisticated internal timekeeper that tells every cell in your body what time it is and what you should be doing. Here's the fascinating part about this. The master clock doesn't actually keep perfect time on its own. It needs external cues. And it needs those cues to actually help us stay synchronized. And the most important cue of all is light hitting our eyes. When bright light enters our eyes, it sends a direct signal to our master clock saying, hey, it's daytime, time to be alert and energized. So think of it like this. Imagine going to a meet, trying to get to a meeting on time when all the clocks in your building were showing different times. And that's what happens to your brain when it doesn't get clear light signals. Your internal systems start getting confused about when to be awake and alert, when to feel hungry, and when to wind down for sleep. So during the winter months, we face a perfect storm, really, of challenges for our brain's timing system. The days are shorter, the light is dimmer, and many of us spend many of our daylight hours indoors under artificial lighting. Even on a bright winter day, indoor lighting is typically only about 500 lux. And our brain really wants to see at least 1,000 to 10,000 lux to get clear daytime signals. And when your master clock doesn't get enough light information, it's like trying to read in a dimly lit room. Everything becomes unclear. Your brain starts producing less of certain chemicals and more of others, but at the wrong times. And this is why so many people experience what we call those winter blues. It's not a character flaw or lack of willpower, it's your brain responding normally to insufficient light cues. And here's something important to understand because this affects us all to some degree. You don't have to have full seasonal affective disorder to notice changes in your energy and your motivation or even your mood during these darker months. If I explain what's kind of happening chemically in your brain, when bright light hits your eyes, it triggers the production of serotonin, often called your feel-good neurotransmitter. And serotonin is like your brain's natural antidepressant and energy booster, all rolled into one. It helps to regulate our moods, our energy levels, our appetite, and even our ability to be able to focus. So during these winter months with less bright light exposure, your brain produces less serotonin. And at the same time, that lack of clear light signals can disrupt your production of melatonin, your sleep hormone. So you end up with less energy during the day and potentially disrupted sleep at night. So it's like your brain's chemistry is out of tune. Now, the good news, this system is incredibly responsive, and research shows that even 10 to 15 minutes of bright light exposure can start shifting your brain chemistry in a positive direction. Your brain wants to feel good, but it just needs to have the right signals to make that happen.